So I got back from Japan 2 months ago, and I noticed that ever since I got back, a lot of people have been going. And whoever has not been going has been wondering why everybody is going. Not to say that it's unfathomable to visit Japan. Japan is a phenomenal country, and I had the best time. But one thing that I'm realizing, and also some of my friends realize, is that there doesn't seem to be a lot of common threads that tie together a lot of people that go to Japan. Now, Japan is known for many things. There's Zen gardens, bonsai, anime, manga, Shinto shrines, Buddhist temples, what have you. There's a lot that Japan is known for. There's a lot that it's not known for. And there's a lot of people that tend to go that maybe are not so into some of these more mainstream representations of what Japan has to offer. I put some critical thought into why people tend to gravitate towards Japan and travel, and I've landed on 2 reasons why Japan is a great country to visit regardless of what your interests are. Reason number 1 is that there are unique things to do no matter what your interests are, and the reason why that is a product of a few facts. A lot of people that tend to visit Japan tend to stay around Tokyo. And within Tokyo, there is a population of 37.5 million people. That is the most populous city in the entire world. The second and third are New Delhi at 29.5 and Shanghai at 26 million. That is about a 8 million difference between Tokyo, the largest city, and New Delhi, the second, just in terms of sheer numbers. The second is that there is an extremely high ratio of establishments to people, which translates to more things to do above and beyond what you would expect with a high population. So for instance, if we look at some records of how many restaurants there are per 100,000 people, in Tokyo that number is around 1,000 establishments per 100,000 people. In other countries, let's say in the United States, in San Francisco or New York City, that number sits around 300 to 450 by comparison, which is less than half that ratio. When you combine together the extremely large population of Tokyo, in addition with this ratio of establishments to people, you get an explosion of places to visit, restaurants or otherwise. And what that leaves is a lot of opportunities for people to establish unique value proposition. For example, I'm really into coffee, and if you were to just look for what coffee offerings there were in Tokyo, you would be met with things like 2D printed latte art like this. You just provide a picture and it prints out that picture on top of your latte, or rainbow latte art, which to me blew my mind. Maybe it's simpler to do than it sounds, but I thought it was amazing. And even 3D latte art, which I really enjoyed myself. The one particular place that we went to, we would provide a picture that could be found online or from a pre-established set of pictures, and they would create a 3D or 2D representation of that picture on top of your coffee using milk foam. One additional detail that is significant is that from a cultural standpoint, the Japanese are very well known for striving for perfection in their jobs, and this is across all industries. There's even this word called Monozukuri that underscores the importance and prestige that is placed on craftsmen having a deep knowledge, skills, and understanding of their work and the continual strive for perfection. And this manifests in every area of service and arts and what have you. And even above and beyond that, all of these experiences are very accessible due to Japan's phenomenal public transportation system. It can get you anywhere without having to worry about a car. And above and beyond that, there are bullet trains which can rocket you from one part of the country to the next within hours. One part of Japan that I really enjoyed that I took the bullet train to was Kyoto, which is very well known for Buddhist temples, Shinto shrines, tea houses, and Zen gardens, amongst other things. So when we add that all together, we really get a choose your adventure type of experience as a tourist. Reason number 2 is that Japan is the perfect mix of tourist friendly and exploratory. It doesn't feel like you're at Disneyland when you go there. They certainly don't hold your hands, and it doesn't feel like every attraction is curated for you. But on the other hand, there are enough ropes and hooks that enable you to be able to stay afloat and navigate around the country and kind of learn things at your own pace, which is honestly very refreshing. For example, the handholding that is there is a very intuitive train system, a very intuitive city design. You can travel pretty efficiently from place to place. In addition to that, people are universally extremely polite, and most areas are actually quite safe to walk around at night. But there's a few things that do make it difficult, like a lot of people not speaking English, and that some signs, or rather many signs, depending on the place you go, may all be in Japanese. Both of these problems of which Google Translate can solve for you pretty easily. And in general, also, people tend to keep to themselves a little bit more in Japan, despite being very polite. So that's worth bearing in mind if you're an extrovert, that it is an adjustment, but it's absolutely not the worst thing in the world. It's actually still quite a pleasant experience regardless. Bonus tip I would have, learn the language and talk to the people, because it's very enjoyable and feels so much more immersive when speaking the language. I really enjoy talking to the people the most when I was there. I believe that the people enjoy it as long as you don't do it in a way that interrupts their flow, or in areas like trains where the vibe tends to be people generally stay pretty quiet. I even have a few funny anecdotes. The first week that I was there, instead of saying goodbye when I left, I said I'm home. I said tadaima, which means I'm home, but they were total sports about it. Everyone I'd ever talked to, they said welcome home. But it was really funny because I was leaving a place when I said tadaima, and they would say welcome home, which is like okaree nasai, which I'm totally mispronouncing probably. But that was a funny anecdote, and people were total sports about it. In addition to that, I also fell into the trap of saying sayonara as a bye, which is a big no-no in Japan. Usually it means goodbye forever. And then lastly, I landed on using kyotsukete, which means take care, which was received. They were all these were received well, but I think this was received as I wanted it to be received, which was great. But either way, I think that people tend to appreciate it more when you try to speak the language. Either that or they're Academy Award actors, because I feel like we all had a good time, regardless of who I talked to. So all that to say, regardless of who you are or what your interests are, I really strongly recommend vacationing to Japan because it was dope. That's it. See ya.